So ever since seeing Get Out back in 2017, my buddy Justin and I went to the theater to see it. Kind of went in not even really knowing the premise, just knowing that it was like a psychological thriller slash horror film. And after seeing it, I vowed that I would give anything that Jordan Peele touches a chance. Right? I haven't seen all of his stuff yet, but anything that he's involved in, I'm definitely interested in checking out. And so it was a no-brainer, especially when I saw the premise of Nope, that I was going to check this out at some point or another. I didn't get to it right away, but last week I sat down and watched it, and I've got to say, Jordan Peele is like, he's like this generation's M. Night Shyamalan, right? Except, honestly, I feel like Shyamalan's hit and miss, and so far Jordan Peele has made quality stuff that I've enjoyed. I've enjoyed everything that I've watched that he's put out. So, right now I'm a bigger fan of Jordan Peele's work than I am M. Night Shyamalan. Now, that's not saying Shyamalan has made some incredible films, especially a decade ago, and I enjoyed his latest film, Knock at the Cabin, as well. But his films don't quite have the bite that they used to have, but I feel like Jordan Peele is kind of filling that void for me. And so going into Nope, I was already kind of in the bag for it. Like, I was already like probably going to enjoy it at least somewhat. I love paranormal stuff. I love psychological thrillers. So this thing is like right up my alley. Like Aliens, come on. So unlike Get Out, I feel like you got a lot more of the premise from the trailer. You kind of knew what this movie was about. It's about aliens of some sort coming down to Earth. And, hitting up this random little horse ranch somewhere out in the California desert. And I got to say, I thoroughly enjoyed this film. Now, there was some stuff in it that didn't grab me, that I didn't think was the greatest. I didn't love the ending of the film, but I'll get to that. First off, returning to Daniel Kaluuya from Get Out, I think is a brilliant choice. That guy's awesome. That guy, just like Jordan Peele's work, I'll watch anything that Daniel Kaluuya's in. He's great, obviously, in Get Out. That was the first thing I ever saw him in. I really enjoyed his character in Nope. Great in Black Panther. A slew of films that he's been in the past 5 years. Really great stuff. But I really enjoy his work. But he was not the only standout actor in this film. I especially enjoyed the actress Keke Palmer, who played his sister in the film, and I just really loved her character. Like, it was, I don't know, it was something about the chemistry between the two, the dynamic between the two, and she was like the feisty, fun, silly character that kind of, was like the almost antagonistic towards her brother, who was the more like shy, quiet type. And I love the dynamic between the two. Trying to figure out what to do here with this ranch after their father dies. And just straight from the beginning of the film, when the father dies from that random piece of shrapnel falling from the sky, it like sets the tone for the film. You're like, what was that? What is happening? And it gives you like a creepy vibe throughout. But then it gets even more creepy, even more strange when you meet Steven Yeun and his character, Ricky Park, who like owns this big ranch down the road, this like Hollywood ranch. And when you find out about his backstory, like that, it's so unsettling. And it's probably my favorite part of the film, and maybe the most unnecessary addition to a film. Like, I kept waiting for it to really come into play, right? This Gordy's home stuff that they show us throughout the film. They kind of give us the background of what actually happened there when he was a child actor. I kept waiting for that to like really come into the plot, and I guess that's my brain kind of shifting to that M. Night Shyamalan mindset where it's like something early in the film is going to come back and it's going to be this big like, oh wow, revelation where it's like there's a twist and it had something to do with something you were introduced to early on. But it's almost like a red herring because it doesn't come back in a big way. They definitely keep going back to it. They keep showing you that story, but and maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe I'm just stupid and it had a big part to play in the film, but I don't feel like it did. Like it didn't. I don't know, but I absolutely loved it. Like the whole Gordy's home thing, it had an Alf vibe. It felt legit like something you would have seen in early 90s television. It was perfect. A perfect representation of like that era of television where you have like an alien or an animal or something weird enter a family and change the entire dynamic of the family, like Alf. But just how sinister that backstory ended was like, oh man. And it's like you kind of want to hate Steven Yeun's character, but at the same time, knowing what he lived through, you're like, Jesus, this guy has to be so incredibly traumatized, right? That you're just like, okay, what he's doing isn't that bad. Thinking, knowing what he's been through, like he could be doing so much worse, so many worse things with his life. Anyway, he's still kind of a douchebag, piece of shit, and he shouldn't be stealing horses from his neighbor. But I absolutely loved his backstory. It was like my favorite part of the film. I liked the way that they told the stories through the story of each horse and what happened to them, and that was like how we went through the story. It would be like I actually don't remember. It's been a week since I watched it, but I don't remember the names of the horses. But it would say the name of the horse, and then it would tell you how that horse fits into the story, tells you the next piece of the story, and then the next big revelation, the next big piece of the story, the next thing that really moves the plot forward is the next horse's part of the story. So I really enjoyed how they did that. Now, when they finally reveal like the alien ship, and that it's not really a ship, that it's actually like a biological thing, like it's a being of its own. It's not a ship full of aliens. It's actually just like a monster flying around. But it really does look like a ship. It was terrifying. It was terrifying, especially when you saw what happened to the people that got sucked up into it. It was like, oh my God, they're up in there. They're stuck in there. Holy shit. How terrifying. How terrifying. They're like hundreds of feet, above the ground, inside of this being. Claustrophobic. Oh, it was just really, it was terrifying. And then to know that they just kind of hung out in there, not knowing what was going to happen to them, and then boom, they're digested and spit out. Oh my God. I mean, it got way gorier than I imagined this film would be. I didn't imagine as much blood and guts and goo and just, wow. Like that thing just spews out what's left after absorbing what it wants out of these humans. It spits out all the clothes and stuff and bones and meat extra. Yeah, it was nasty, but I absolutely loved it. The only thing that I did not really enjoy about this film was towards the end, it got super weird. Like when the being became the big parachute looking version of itself, and it like opened up into this huge, like almost like a balloon, like a hot air balloon. I just thought that was so strange, and I was confused, and maybe I'm missing something. Maybe, like I said, maybe it was like that for a reason, and maybe that was really cool how they did that, but I wasn't seeing it. I just saw that for no reason at all, it kind of morphed into this balloon thing. And I didn't think it looked nearly as intimidating. I thought it was just strange. But I enjoyed how the characters worked together and eventually brought in this cameraman, this like badass action cameraman to try to capture this, to try to get famous. Now, we never find out if they actually get famous from it, but it does seem as though they do finally get the shot that they want. But who knows? The premise of this film kind of bugged me, just because like the idea is to get a photo that can't be denied. But in this day and age, I mean, just about any photo or video or anything, captured on film can be denied, because anything can be altered. So I don't know how what they captured would have been any more believable than anything else on the internet, except for the fact that there's at least probably, now no one was capturing this because everyone that was near this entity was being eaten. So they were the only ones that could capture it. However, there would be a record of so many people disappearing, right? So it would be a known factor. So maybe that is the thing that would make it believable, is like, oh, hundreds of people disappeared out in the desert. There's blood and guts everywhere. There's DNA to prove, that these people were mangled by something. So maybe that, coupled with the photo from the well, maybe that would have been enough. But that's neither here nor there. I don't even care about the believability of the kind of premise of the film. Whatever. It was a fun, action, alien, strange, gory adventure. I absolutely enjoyed it. Like I said, favorite part of it definitely goes to the Gordy's home segment and that whole storyline. But I thought it was really great, a great outing for Jordan Peele, and I can't wait to see what he does next. Anyway, I'd love to hear what you guys thought of Nope. I know it kind of got mixed reviews. I remember when it came out, some people absolutely loved it, and other people were like, nah, it's not Get Out, And it's not. It's not. Get Out is kind of stands alone. So far, it's the best thing, I think, that Jordan Peele has put together. But this movie is still a solid outing by him, and like I said, I'm ready to see what he does next. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought. Let me know in the comments below, or if you're listening in podcast form, you can hit me up on Instagram or Twitter or TikTok, pretty much everywhere at Real Brett Scott. And if you enjoy this sort of thing where I talk about movies, TV shows, entertainment, pop culture, then stick around, subscribe to the channel, or favorite or follow the podcast. And if you do decide to stick around, then I'll talk to you again real soon. Thanks.